In 2011, we became involved in a consultation with the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea that was looking at housing issues and was looking at regeneration and their decamp policy. And it was through that issue that we really learnt what the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea are about. And I would strongly urge anyone who faces the prospect of regeneration to be extremely wary of the promises that have been made by the council. And my advice would be, do not trust what they are telling you. And I'm going to tell you why not to trust them, because in the draft of their decamp policy, they had a guarantee that all residents would be able to return back to the estates that they were being decanted. And decanted simply means that when an estate is being regenerated, the people that are living on it will be moved away, but will then be moved back. That is the decamp policy sets out to deal with that. It doesn't tell you that if you're not already on the tenancy, you're going to not be rehoused. So if you have a child that has reached the age of 18, they're not going to be rehoused. Anyone who's not officially on the tenancy list will also not be rehoused. But much worse than that, what the council did between their the draft decamp policy and publishing the actual decamp policy was they removed the guarantee that people could return to their communities. So the legal basis for people returning back to their communities was removed, which allows the council not to return anyone back to their communities, and in fact allows them to move people out of London, out of Kensington and Chelsea, and rehouse them. Well, they've already bought properties with inside the M25. But this callous disregard, this removal of the guarantee, and when members of the Grenfell Action Group challenged the council, and we challenged Councillor Field in Mellon and said to him, why did you remove that guarantee? You know, the one thing that we needed, that you were going to return people. The reason that he gave is because they could not guarantee people would be returned to their community. So when they tell you you will be returned to their community, they cannot guarantee that, and they have taken the legal right for you to be returned away from you. So now you just have to rely basically on their word, and that is a very frightening proposition. So we might ask, why do the council require a decant policy? Yeah? Why do they need to decant? And the answer to that is because they plan to regenerate all social housing in North Kensington. The last kind of step towards achieving that aim was in July this year, where the council passed a motion that they could knock down all low density social housing in North Kensington in order to build more affordable housing, supposedly. So anyway, anyone that's lived on Lancaster West Estate or knows Silchester Estate, and I'll refer in particular to Lancaster West, has had to face approximately 40 years of the council, the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, and their mini-mafia who operate the TMO, overseeing the managed decline of our community. And by that I mean there has been no investment in our residential amenity, in our housing stock for the best part of 40 years. And the net result of that is that Lancaster West has become a slum that through no fault of the residents, but just through the fact of lack of investment through the council. So now the council have managed the decline of the estate so effectively, they can come along, they can knock it down, and the decamp policy will come into place. And currently the plans are for I think obviously historically Warnington Road, and then they've moved on to Bellflower and Burley, so the primary school in Barbary Road and around there, and their next target is most definitely the Silchester Estate, where they plan to replicate what they did around Frinstead House around all the other houses, so around Whitstable and Dixon, removing the beautiful green space of Wainfleet Square. And they probably won't listen to a single concern of residents or a single protest of residents when they go and when they carry out that plan. The housing ties in absolutely with Westway 23's concerns, and you know how the council, as part of their regeneration strategy, are removing all community space, and by that I mean Maxilla. And when Maxilla disappeared, the aftershock of that is that the community rooms on Lancaster West Estate were taken over by a nursery, so us residents no longer have a right to commune on our own estate. The London Lighthouse being turned into a brand museum. the library, the North Kensington Library, under threat from being taken over by the Notting Hill Prep School. And then, of course, we've got the Sir Isaac Newton Centre, which has been taken over by a private school. The Westway Information Centre, which has just been lost for, and the council have given permission to change of use to retail and restaurant. And then all the other stuff, from that Westway 23 are involved with the Westway Trust, from, Sarah at the stables through to the flyover and everything else, and the pop-up cinema and everything else that they're destroying. But yeah, no, housing it ties in exactly with it, because what they're trying to achieve underneath the Westway isn't for the current population of North Kensington. What they're trying to achieve with the retail and with the restaurants is for the new breed of people that they're trying to encourage into the new accommodation that they're going to be building. So there's no wonder they don't want to consult with us, because they've got no intention that any of the services are meant for us in the long run anyway, and I'm afraid that's the truth. And that is the link between basically what's happening underneath the flyover and what's happening on a larger housing scale in North Kensington.